Well, hello there, everyone, God and Gigs community, and anybody else who's joining us for today. Our reset has begun. As I set everything up, I'm making sure that I'm good here. My mic doesn't want to stand up. What is I don't know what's up with that, but we can handle that. I want to thank you for joining me today because this is such a incredible time. It's such an incredible season of life for all of us. We're pushing through. We've made it to June 1st of 2021, and a lot of us probably can't even imagine that we've made it to half of the year. I mean, where did the time go? Who knew that time was flying that fast, that we were going to end up at the midpoint of 2021, and it feels like everything's been a blur between to vaccines to no lockdowns to lockdowns again, to things opening back up, to concerts coming back, to live sports and gatherings. I mean, it's been a whirlwind. And if you're like me, it's probably been really hard to process everything and to be able to refocus and recenter myself back on the things that matter, back on the things that I was planning to do right at the beginning of 2021. And that's where we are now. We are now at a place where we need to refocus, recenter. And so that's why I designed and created this 3-day challenge, this 3-day reset to help you do just that, to get back focused. Let me make sure my camera is straight. I feel like I'm a little weird now. I don't know if you guys are going to see me leaning off to one side or anything like that. But anyway, if you're watching this on replay, it's because you are a registered part of our reset. You've signed up at guidegigs.com/reset, and so I'm either sending you this video or you're watching it later in the day. But I'm going to be going live at 8:15 on today, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and doing a live teaching on something that's going to help you to refocus yourself on the goals that you had set up at the beginning of the year. And the thing is that most of us, as you know, when it comes to resolutions and goals and things like that, we tend to set them early and we get very excited and we get optimistic, but then we forget about it. Then we leave it alone. We step back from it and we forget that without consistent reevaluation, without consistently looking back at the goals we set, we can quickly go off track. And if you're like me and you look back at what you thought you said you were going to do at the beginning of the year, it looks nothing like what you actually accomplished. And the problem with that is I don't believe that's the way we should go about things. I believe that God's put a dream and a goal in your heart that he wants you to accomplish, and he does want to see those things come to pass in your life, and you wanted to see those things come to pass in your life at the very beginning of the year, but you got off track, which is okay. It's all right because life happens. But we don't want to stay that way. So some of you are aware of in God and Gigs. By the way, my name is Alan C. Paul. If you don't know this platform, I'm the host and founder of God and Gigs. And this is what we do to help our community to build a better life from the inside out. We present resources, courses. I have 4 books, a major book, 2 study guides, and a devotional. All of that to help you build a better life from the inside out. So I'm glad you joined us. If you were invited by somebody, thanks for joining in with this call and with this talk and with this reset. And if you are interested in getting the full summary of these lessons, what you want to do is go to godandgigs.com/reset and sign up. I'll be doing a live teaching right now early in the morning for some of you guys. For everybody, some earlier than others on the East Coast, on the West Coast. But the key is I wanted to get in and really start the day off right, give you the lesson of the day, and then give you the entire day to work on it and challenge yourself to refocus on those goals that you want to set up to make the next half of the year the best part of the year. So what it works, as I said, going live now, then around 9 a.m. I'll be sending out the summary or the nuts and bolts of the exercise I'm about to talk to you about. And then at about 6 o'clock in the creative community, which you might be watching right now in the creative community, once that goes to about 6 o'clock or so, we'll do a recap and you can share what you've learned, how you're using these exercises, how you're using these strategies to refocus yourself so that you can have the best year ever when it comes to the second half of 2021. So that's basically how the challenge and how the reset works. Please share this with some friends. Please share this with someone who feels like they got kind of stuck through the year, that the pandemic or the restart of the year and the restart of the life outside of pandemic life, outside of lockdown life. If they feel like they got stuck, go give them this site and give them that sign up and just tell them to come on in. We've actually decided to go live pretty much on all the platforms. So even if you are not in the creative community, you can still watch this. But the only way to get the summary of the lessons is to sign up for the email list, because I clearly can't send it to you through just, without having your email address and knowing that you're part of our community. So that's why I ask you to sign up and become a registered participant in the reset. Okay, so that's how it works. Thanks once again if you're joining me, even in the replay. Go ahead and type replay in the chat, because I know not everybody can get up at so early in the morning. And some people are already at work, and then some people are just, their schedule's not going to allow them to come in live, but that's okay. That way, this way, by going live early, I jumped up and I decided to get started. So this way it's there for you and it's ready whenever you're ready to do these exercises. So let's talk about day one of the reset. So in the original version of the Consistent Creator Challenge, which some of you might have heard of, we've done that like 3 or 4 times. We do a 5-day challenge, and we talk about 5 different things that help you to become a more consistent creative. And I've said this, that being consistent is very much a spiritual and a biblical discipline, as well as a productivity discipline. Because when you show up and you do the things that you've been called to do and blessed to do day after day, you get better at it. You show that you're dedicated to it. You give people your word and they know they can trust you. So it's a matter of integrity and character. It's also a matter of just success, that those people who show up day after day, do the things that are tough to do the things that are not as easy to do, and show up and do their best creative work, are the people that bless others, that have the most success. It just goes without saying that that's what really helps you become a all-around confident creative that can do the things that you're blessed to do. But the key of that is showing up is not easy to do every day, especially as we just talked about halfway through the year, when you were kind of just trying to make it through the rest of 2021 with your head on intact and with your feet on the ground, and not feeling like you've lost your way in the midst of all the things that are happening in the world and in your life. So what we want to do is go back to some of those concepts, but I'm going to reorient them. And these are new concepts, by the way. These are new lessons. These are not the same lessons as the Consistent Creative Challenge. We may go back and do the Consistent Creative Challenge soon, but the reset is a slightly different thing. So don't feel like if you took the challenge that we're going to repeat things. This is actually going to kind of enhance some of those concepts. So the first lesson I want to talk about is reaffirming your why and making sure your why is connected to your actions as of today, as of June 1st, 2021. Do you know what your why was when you set up your goals? Are those whys, are those emotional connections to your goals still active today? Are they still motivating you? And if they're not motivating you, then we got to reevaluate your why, or reevaluate the goal that's set up to your why. And let me explain this, and I explained it more in the email, so it's easier to do visually, even in the written word, as it is to explain it out loud. But I want to talk about it first, and then you can get the exercise when you sign up. So, by the way, though, you got to sign up really quickly. If you're watching this, you got to sign up. You'll get the summary at the end of the day, but the email goes out at 9 a.m. So if you're watching this after 9 a.m. and you're like, well, where's the email? It's because you signed up after the fact. So you don't get the first day's email if you didn't sign up right away. So forgive me for that. But you can see the recap in the creative community. So what we're going to talk about is what made you choose the goals that you chose in the first place. Why did you choose to do or to achieve or to aim for what you aim for? Maybe you're a filmmaker, you wanted to make a film. Maybe you're a musician and you wanted to record or tour. Well, now you can tour, thank God tours are coming back. So all these things that you might have set up in your goals might have been, really great goals, but why did you pick them? And the reason I want to go back to why you picked them is because Sometimes we think that we're going a certain direction, but we don't think about the reason behind it because we just think everybody's going a certain direction. We should go there too. Problem with that is if you just start heading that direction, but you never consider why, you can end up going up the wrong wall or putting your ladder up against the wrong wall. It's hard to say, wrong wall. And so you'll achieve your destination, but then you realize you didn't want to go that direction and you don't even know why you're climbing that particular obstacle, why that place was where you set up. And I want to make sure that that doesn't happen to you. And so we got to go back and look at why did you pick those goals? What did you want to happen about you or to you or in you that the best way for you to achieve that was to achieve this thing? So maybe it's something as simple as a trip to, a vacation or something like that, a special trip. But you don't just want to see the place. You want to feel a certain way when you go to the place. If you want to go to Hawaii or you want to go to Italy, you want to go to China, you want to go to Japan, you're not just going to see the place. You're going to experience the place because you believe there's a feeling and a rush and a joy you're going to feel when you get there because of all the things that you either seen or wanted to see, all the activities you wanted to do. Same thing that goes with your goals. Your goals aren't simply set up in, where, yes, they are amazing things to put on your resume, but there's something internal that you want to feel or understand about yourself that actually drove you to write that down. And so you got to go back and say, okay, why did I choose the goals I chose? And number one, you got to go back and actually find those goals. Some of you may have not even written them down. If you didn't write down your goals at the beginning of the year, you might say, okay, I don't even know where to go because I didn't even start up with a New Year's resolution or with a goal or with anything. So this is still fine to start this process at the middle of the year, even if you didn't do it at the beginning of the year. So what we're going to do is we're going to reaffirm the emotional connection we have to those goals before we reevaluate the goals. So that's what I want you to do first. I want you to look back and say, okay, why did I pick what I picked? Why did I step forward and say, okay, this is going to be a good goal for me? I want to look right at my board right now, even as I'm recording, and I want to see some of the goals I had up here. I got things like materials. I want to get a new laptop, a new camera, a new studio workspace, and upgrade my backdrop here. And I've got down that I want to increase my email list by, 75 a month, and all these different goals I have, and my podcast dream list. So I'm basically reading off the things that I have set up for myself. But what does all that mean? Why did I pick all those things? Why is it important for me to have 100 more members? Or why is it important to have, 8% growth each week or each day or each month? It's because I know those things will help build out a secure place for my business where I can feel confident in my business. So I want to feel confidence. I want to feel fulfillment in sharing my gifts with others. I want to feel that sense of giving and service. I want to feel that sense of, honestly, a sense of pride, not a bad sense of pride, but godly pride. I want to feel a sense of pride and accomplishment. I want to feel a sense of growth and becoming everything that I can be. Those are all feelings that I am looking forward to as a result of the success metrics that I've set up. But they aren't just numbers on a page, and they aren't just goals that I've set because cameras are cool and growth is cool and being successful is cool. I'm putting those things because they have an intrinsic value to my life and to my heart, to my soul, to my spirit, which then if I act them out will help me to feel those things and to validate those things and to really get the sense of I'm making progress. So the reason I'm telling you this is because, as I'm telling you very clearly, the emotions matter. Your emotions matter. The way you feel about your actions end up driving your actions. And if you're not heading in the direction of your goals, it's probably because you had a disconnect between your emotional core and your productivity and your strategies. So as a creative and as a musician, freelancer, writer, whatever you do, you probably love that thing and it really brings you joy and satisfaction, but you got to remind yourself and rewrite that coding to reconnect the emotional connection with what you said you were going to do at the beginning of the year. And that's why I'm calling this exercise reaffirming your why. And the why has to be an emotional why, not necessarily I want to make a lot of money why. Why do you want to make a lot of money? It's like the 2-year-old that keeps asking why. They go backwards and they keep asking, but why is this? But why is that? And that's the way I want you to do this as well in today's exercise. I want you to unpeel the onion. I want you to, or not unpeel, but peel the onion and really get back to what made you choose the goal you chose. Once you've chosen, or once you've figured out why you chose it, we're going to do a little thing. I'm going to show you a picture here. A picture, not the picture, but I'm going to show you my exercise here where I've created a little diagram. And this diagram kind of lays out, I'm not sure if it's going to be backwards or forwards, so I think it'll be right. So on one side here, I have emotions in one column. And the other side, I have goals. Yeah, the light's a little bit blurry. I don't know if you can see that there. So one side is emotions and one side is goals. And when you do these two sides, what you're going to do is you're going to write down your emotional attachment and your emotional goals, you could say. The things that you want for the payoff. I want to feel satisfaction. I want to feel happiness, joy. I wrote on mine, I want to feel fulfilled and creative. I want to have a sense of security, and I want to feel less stressed. Those are feelings and emotions that I want to feel. They have nothing to do with specific goals other than the fact that I just want to feel that way. I want to be more of that kind of person. But on the other side, I wrote down the goals that I set, and these are just kind of more general, but record my original songs. And then I look across and I see, is that really going to be the connection between being fulfilled and creative? Is that why really supported by recording original songs? And if I'm honest with myself, yeah, I think when I'm recording my original songs, I know I will be fulfilling that feeling. I will be getting to that payoff. And so I write a line connecting the dots. And so that's what I'm really asking you to do, is to connect the dots between your why and your what. What are you doing now? Or what do you want to do? What did you want to do at the beginning of the year? And if you're not doing it, is your why really connected to it? Or are you just kind of like, did you just pick some random goals, but now you realize 6 months into the year that it wasn't really going to pay off the way you thought it was? It's not giving you the motivation. You don't feel like it's going to achieve the thing that you want to achieve. Now, I want to say this really quickly as we're closing up this first lesson. Remember that it's not important necessarily that you feel that thing right now. It doesn't mean that you're going to feel like doing it every day. That's not what consistency is all about. What I am saying is that it should be clear that the achievement of that goal is in line with what you want to feel emotionally eventually. When you achieve that goal, and probably while you're also in the process of that goal, you should be noticing that momentum and that feeling of, this is why I called myself to do this. This is why I felt it was necessary to do this. If you are getting to that point, if you're feeling that, you're now on the right track, where your emotional connection and your physical or your productivity goals, your goals for your career, the goals for your life are set up in a way that they are in alignment. And you want that alignment. You want goals and emotions to be in alignment, so that when you look forward to your next step of what are you going to do, and are you doing what you said you're going to do, and are you consistent doing what you said you're going to do to reach those goals, as you break them down into your tasks and your strategies and your tactics and all that kind of stuff, you need to make sure that you never lost a sense and never lost focus on why you picked those things and what your overall goal is. It's not just to be successful, but it's to be successful so that you can feel this, you can do this, you can be this, you can have these things internally that cannot really be gained, simply by just telling yourself. You want that sense of security, of course. Self-confidence and self-image is all important, and you don't want to rely on these activities to make you happy, but you do know that these are an outgrowth of what would make you happy and what would give you more and more of that sense of internal peace, joy, satisfaction, happiness, because you're working toward the things that you care about and that you believe in. That's really what today's exercise is all about, reaffirming that why. Making sure that you understand the choices you've made and why they are so important. So that is what we're talking about today. That is the exercise for today. And so if you haven't already, let's see if we can get this caption thing to disappear as I'm playing around with the graphics. Apologize for that. I don't know how to get rid of that, and I just started doing it just because I felt like doing it. I don't know. There we go. So that's today's exercise. And so if you haven't signed up already, it's about 8:37 today as I'm recording this. So 8:37 in the morning. So if you're watching this before 9 o'clock, you still got about 15 minutes to go ahead and sign up to get the first exercise. And actually, I should probably put that in the chat. As soon as I hid the chat, I should have gone ahead and written it in the chat so you can see where to go. But I'll just put it as one of the things here. And let's show that. Okay. So godandgigs.com/reset is where you want to go in order to get the summary of the exercise so I can have it in your inbox, and then you can watch this later on. Okay, it's already, again, I left it up on the platform, so I only will leave it up for the 3-day challenge, and then I'm going to take it back down, and then only the people who have signed up for the challenge will actually have access to these replays. I'm going to make it so that only those people who are part of the sign up will actually get to be a part of it. I also am considering a little giveaway. I have in my possession a Amazon Echo Dot, which I haven't decided how I'm going to give it away yet. I'm still trying to figure that out. But if you are interested in signing up for that prize, you also have to be one of the participants. Maybe I'll just pick a random person. I'll just pick one of our participants, and I'll make it a random drawing of our signed up participants, not those who are just watching, but you got to be signed up at godandgigs.com/reset so you can get the summaries of the lessons, and also make sure that you're participating in our creative community. So you can sign up at godandgigs.com/reset, and then make sure you join the community from there, because I'll have a link to the God and Gigs creative community. Okay, that's how you can sign up and how you can participate inside our group on Facebook. Okay, thank you so much for being a part of today's first reset. I think this is going to be empowering to you. It's going to be special. It's going to help you to reconnect with the goals that you set and the God-given dreams and desires of your heart. Also, don't forget that if you want to learn more about God and Gigs, just go to godandgigs.com. We've got podcasts always coming out. We're up to about 116, 117 episodes. All of our podcasts are there for you. All of our blog posts, our membership, everything to help you to be a better creative from the inside out is there. So if you're new to the program or new to this, thank you for joining, and thank you for joining our community and becoming a part of these wonderful group of creatives. You're going to find a lot of friends here. All right, that's it for today. Again, day 2 is coming up. So if you're watching this later, go ahead and sign up so that you can get the replays and the summaries of these lessons. But make sure today you reaffirm your why, step forward, look up, figure it out, whether your emotions are connected with your goals, and how you can make sure those are firm foundations between what you want to achieve, who you want to be, and how you want to feel, because all those things are interconnected to your daily consistent habits. Okay, God bless you. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys on day 2 of the reset. Okay, have a great one.